Hi there and welcome to the third of my recommendation videos for 2023, my monthly attempt to get you interested in reading literary works I particularly enjoyed. Last month the theme was treasure, this month it's crocodiles. As ever, all of these works are in the public domain, links are in the description, but this time rather than choose 3 short stories, I have a poem, a short story and a longer work. So without any further ado, let's begin. First up we have Christina Rossetti, who's probably best known for her involvement with the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. Her brother was Dante Gabriel Rossetti, one of its founding members. She also produced a very famous narrative poem, Goblin Market, which, if you've never read, I'll also link to. It's absolutely superb and like nothing else you'll have ever read. It's about 2 sisters who happen upon a procession of goblin men taking their fruit to market. It's simply wonderful. However, the poem I've chosen is much shorter and it was featured in the same 1862 collection as Goblin Market. It's called My Dream and it was a particular favourite among members of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, and it's all about crocodiles. Link is in the description. It will only take 2 minutes of your time to read and I'd love to know what you make of it. Okay. Next. This author needs no introduction. It's Fyodor Dostoyevsky, arguably the greatest novelist ever to draw breath. However, unlike literally hundreds of YouTube videos, I'm not about to sing the praises of Crime and Punishment, nor will I wax lyrical about the brothers Karamazov. Instead, I wish to direct your attention toward his 1865 short story, The Crocodile. The story is quite simple. A narrator accompanies a male friend and his beautiful wife to an arcade where a German is exhibiting a live crocodile in a tank. Somehow, however, this male friend contrives to be swallowed by the crocodile, and what then follows is absolutely extraordinary. The best way to give you a taste of this work is if I just read you a little. With Ivan Matveevich indisposed, being inside a crocodile, his distraught wife is demanding that the owner have the beast slit open so her husband can be extracted. The owner, for his part, is having absolutely none of this and is objecting in the strongest possible terms. "What? You wish that my crocodile be perished?" the proprietor yelled, running in again. "No, let your husband be perished first before my crocodile. Mein Vater showed crocodile. Mein Großvater showed crocodile, mein son will show crocodile, and I will show crocodile. All will show crocodile. I am known to ganz Europa, and you are not known to ganz Europa, and you must pay me a Strafe." Ja, put in the vindictive German woman. "We shall not let you go. Strafe, since Karlchen is burst." "And indeed, it's useless to flay the creature," I added calmly, anxious to get Elena Ivanovna away home as quickly as possible, as our dear Ivan Matveevich is by now probably soaring somewhere in the Empyrean. "My dear," we suddenly heard, to our intense amazement, the voice of Ivan Matveevich. "My dear, my advice is to apply direct to the superintendent's office, as without the assistance of the police, the German will never be made to see reason." These words, uttered with firmness and aplomb, and expressing an exceptional presence of mind, for the first minute so astounded us that we could not believe our ears. But of course, we ran at once to the crocodile's tank and with equal reverence and incredulity listened to the unhappy captive. His voice was muffled, thin, and even squeaky, as though it came from a considerable distance. It reminded one of a jocose person who, covering his mouth with a pillow, shouts from an adjoining room, trying to mimic the sound of 2 peasants calling to one another in a deserted plain or across a wide ravine, a performance to which I once had the pleasure of listening in a friend's house at Christmas. You won't believe how long it took me to record that without laughing. Okay, that's a wonderful story and it's only 30 or so pages long, but if you want more of people trapped inside objects, then I'll also recommend this, Luigi Pirandello's The Jar from 1909. It's even shorter and it's most amusing too. Okay, it's time for our final offering. The longest of the works I've chosen is this, Thomas de Quincey's Confessions of an English Opium Eater from 1812, one of my favourite books by one of my favourite writers, an incredibly accomplished prose stylist, right up there with Sir Thomas Browne and Richard Hooker, and the crocodiles in this book feature in the opium-induced nightmares that De Quincey is plagued by, and I'll just read you a short passage to give you a flavour of the horrors he endures. The main agents of physical horror were ugly birds or snakes or crocodiles, especially the last. The cursed crocodile became to me the object of more horror than almost all the rest. I was compelled to live with him, and for centuries. I escaped sometimes and found myself in Chinese houses, with cane tables, etc. All the feet of the tables, sofas, etc. soon became instinct with life. The abominable head of the crocodile and his leering eyes looked out at me, multiplied into 1,000 repetitions, and I stood loathing and fascinated. And so often did this hideous reptile haunt my dreams that many times the very same dream was broken up in the very same way. I heard gentle voices speaking to me. I hear everything when I am sleeping, and instantly I awoke. It was broad noon, and my children were standing hand in hand at my bedside, come to show me their coloured shoes or new frocks, or to let me see them dressed for going out. I protest that so awful was the transition from the damned crocodile and the other unutterable monsters and abortions of my dreams to the sight of innocent human natures and of infancy, that, in the mighty and sudden revulsion of mind, I wept and could not forbear it as I kissed their faces. Sublime writing there, and while that sees us dragged into the depths, there are equally passages that soar heavenward in this book like no other in the English language. Okay, so there you have my suggestions for this month. It would be wonderful if you check some of them out, and even more wonderful still if you came back and reported on them in the comments. All right, I better say farewell. Until the next time, be safe, be strong, and I shall see you anon. Nanu nanu.